Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the September 27th edition of Carolina Week, one of the men responsible for Eve Carson's murder is behind bars for life. We'll have campus reaction.
We'll tell you what the university will burn in its power plants to be more environmentally friendly.
In sports, the football team takes a step forward, while the women's soccer team takes a step back.
Weathercaster John Boyer will tell us if we can expect sunny skies after a few rainy days.
All that and a musical method that helps in the healing process. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
She meant so much to everyone who knew her, and now, more than 2 years after the tragic death of former student body president Eve Carson, the man accused of killing her is headed to prison for life. Good evening, I'm Eddie Sykes.
And I'm Megan Cassell. Thanks for joining us. There's no way we can ever come to terms completely with such a senseless act, but the campus can begin to find community closure with the sentencing of Demario James Atwater.
A lot has changed at UNC since March of 2008. The basketball team has another national championship under its belt, new buildings are popping up all over campus, and new students are everywhere. But senior Paul Shorkey says one thing that hasn't changed is the legacy of kindness his role model and mentor, Eve Carson, left behind.
She's still kind of always in the back of your mind, and she drives kind of the way that I try to treat people and try to treat relationships.
Today, Shorkey serves as the senior advisor to the student body president, and he says Carson is the main reason he got involved with student government. But what affects him the most, he says, is how she lived her life.
You never got greeted by Eve without a smile on her face.
And it's the legacy of her life that still thrives all across campus. Demario James Atwater's fate is decided, but the university community is focusing on the positive effects of Eve's life. One of those effects? Student organizations focused on campus safety. UNC's student-run Safe Walk program is only months old, but is already helping hundreds of students get home safely. Calvin Lewis is the program manager for Safe Walk.
We've already done over 200 walks in maybe the 5 weeks that we've been operating, versus our total of last year. We did 1,010 by the end of the semester, so we're doing extremely well.
Shorkey says he's still coming to grips with Atwater's life sentence, but isn't sure if it helps him find closure.
You know, I think that will bring closure to some people. I think for some, maybe closure has already come, and then for some, that won't be enough.
The university established the Eve Carson Scholarship in 2008. It's open to all UNC juniors with a GPA of 3.0 or higher. It's just one of Eve's lasting legacies.
NC State in Raleigh has the reputation for being the school for students interested in hard sciences. But don't tell that to the people at UNC's Moorhead Planetarium. The Moorhead Planetarium transformed McCorkle Place into a science fair on Saturday. The expo featured an experiment using ethanol and copper, a cornstarch march, and balloon animals. Visitors also enjoyed a refreshing treat, ice cream made from chocolate milk and liquid nitrogen. Dr. Gary Duncan presented The Brain Show, and kids enjoyed the exhibits with their parents.
Farmers markets are usually competitors, but this weekend, markets in Cary, Chapel Hill, and Durham came together to raise money to feed the hungry. Organizers at the challenge aim to collect at least 1,000 pounds of food in the Triangle area. At the Food Show Challenge, participants could donate food or cash for the cause. The markets passed their goal and collected more than 1,200 pounds of food. The Interfaith Food Shuttle delivered donations from the event to those who needed them most.
Fall is here and it's almost flu season. Campus Health is offering flu clinics to fight the disease. Students, staff, and faculty members have the opportunity to take advantage of these free clinics at locations across campus. The process takes about 15 minutes. Patients show their cards and insurance cards and fill out health forms before getting the vaccine. The clinics accept walk-ins and appointments. You can visit the flu clinics until October 22nd from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Do you like Native American food? The UNC American Indian Center offered a range of dishes this afternoon at the second Native Food Celebration in Abernethy Hall. Large groups of elementary school students came to taste traditional Native fare. Guests sampled quinoa salad, nuts, and berries. Volunteers explained the diet of American Indians and demonstrated agricultural practices and taught students about nutrition. The Today Show even came to feature one of the volunteers at the event.
It's hard to believe that local elections are already a month away, but if you can't make it to the polls on November 2nd, you can actually request an absentee ballot. Voters can make the ballot request until October 26th. To cast your vote by mail, send your information to the Orange County Board of Elections. You must return completed ballots by November 1st, or they won't make it to the count.
Governor Bev Perdue has decided not to take up the issue of abortion coverage in the UNC health insurance plan, but the debate surrounding the topic continues. Perdue declined a request from the group Students for Life of America to investigate abortion coverage in the university's student health insurance plan. Currently, students who are opposed to the procedure can opt out of coverage. Students can log on to the Pearson Pierce Insurance website and check or uncheck the abortion option. There's no deadline for students who want to opt out of the insurance benefit. UNC is known for its signature Carolina blue heel print, but when it comes to coal use, the university has a carbon heel print officials would like to erase. Reporter Kirsten Garris joins us in the satellite studio. What is Carolina doing to explore other energy options?
Megan, UNC is testing a not-so-obvious material that could help the university erase its carbon heel print and eventually become coal-free. These small, 1-inch pellets are compressed wood scraps and could be the newest substitute for coal in UNC's power plant.
The largest carbon emitter on campus is the cogeneration facility on Cameron Avenue. We burn 95 to 98% of our fuel is coal.
Ray DuBois is the director of UNC Energy Services and says the university is testing this biomass as a way to phase out burning coal.
Just did a 20-ton flowability test a couple of weeks ago and found that dried wood pellets worked fairly well. So we do intend to do a full-scale test in November.
Cogeneration Systems Manager Phil Barner agrees that the dry wood pellets and other wood materials are good alternatives to coal, but it'll take testing 500 tons of wood pellets to determine if this biomass will produce steam in a more efficient way than coal. 500 tons of these will be basically burned in our system here at the plant, and then we'll see
the steam will go off to campus and be used on campus.
Even though wood pellets could be the replacement for coal in the short term, student groups like the Sierra Student Coalition want more sustainable resources for the long term.
Obviously, we're hoping that the university will explore renewable forms of energy such as solar, geothermal, and wind as the ultimate solution, but biomass is great in the short term.
Taylor Timmerman is a co-chair and says the coalition is working with the university to keep its sustainability plans on track.
To make sure that in using biomass that UNC is buying from contractors that have harvested the biomass in a sustainable way.
Megan, UNC Energy Services wants to be coal-free by the year 2020. And if burning dry wood pellets works out, it'll be a major factor in this process. But the pellets are more expensive than coal.
So, Kirsten, if burning wood pellets isn't as successful as the university hopes, is there another alternative?
Maybe. Phil Barner says in the spring, UNC will look into using torrefied wood, which is another wood material with similar properties as coal, and it would need less energy to heat up. That would make the process less expensive. But of course, we'll know more about this after the November testing.
That's Kirsten Garris in our satellite studio. Thanks, Kirsten. Coming up, we'll tell you why you might be seeing more food trucks in Chapel Hill.
And a cause that has people racing to raise money.
There's a monster in my bathtub. There's one on the couch. There's a monster on my bed.
Keep innocent things from triggering an asthma attack.
Please make the monsters go away.
Learn how to stop their asthma attacks at noattacks.org.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
with weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
You see them in Durham and Carrboro, but for some reason, food trucks in Chapel Hill are hard to find. Carolina Week's Claudia Rupsich says the reason for that is a bit of a mystery.
Every day, Alfonso Uresti, also known as Captain Poncho, parks his taco truck outside Oz Garage in Carrboro. The corner of West Franklin and Merritt Mill Road is the closest he can get his truck to Chapel Hill.
That's my really goal, go to Chapel Hill, because there's no one in there. No one taco truck in there, and there's a lot of more students.
It's this rarity of food trucks that pushed Lex Alexander, owner of 3 Cups, to write a petition to the town council asking it to lift the ban on food trucks. But there is no ban on food trucks.
We just don't have any food trucks here, so there must be something that keeps them away from Chapel Hill, because they're in Carrboro and they're in Durham.
Last Monday, town council members referred Alexander's petition to the town hall staff, asking them to come up with a guide about food truck operation in Chapel Hill. Council member Donna Bell says the staff will look at the rules related to food trucks in Chapel Hill to see if there are restrictions that keep food truck operators from coming to town.
If there is some way that we can continue to offer opportunities for new and young entrepreneurs, we're going to look to see if we can do it.
Town of Chapel Hill ordinance says food trucks cannot be in the public right-of-way. Most of the time, it's a matter of getting permission from the private property owners in order to be able to park outside and sell food. That's exactly what this hot dog stand has been doing for 17 years outside of Lowe's. Council members hope the staff's report will help make the process clear. For now, we'll just have to keep taking those extra steps to get a taste of Captain Poncho's tacos. In Chapel Hill, I'm Claudia Rupsich, Carolina Week.
Town council members expect to get a response and report back to town hall staff later this week.
The annual Relay for Life walk occurs in the spring, but volunteers and survivors start raising awareness months before the event. Relay for Life celebrates the lives of cancer survivors and raises money to help find a cure. Students snacked on cupcakes, that looks really good, cake, and also pizza at the Relay for Life event. Volunteers registered for the annual walk, which will take place in the spring, but you don't have to dress up like a polyp to participate. You can if you really want to, though.
It's great when you can get exercise and help others at the same time. Alpha Delta Pi sorority held the 3rd annual Ronathon 5K on Sunday. More than 200 runners raced through campus to raise money for the Ronald McDonald House. The charity provides housing for families who have children undergoing medical treatment at UNC hospitals. Sorority members cheered on the runners and served a free breakfast after the race. AD Pi raised about $16,000, which includes a matching grant from McDonald's.
Well, it's pretty nasty outside right now, Megan. I really have trouble walking around in the rain when I'm wearing my flip-flops.
Well, that's right. Eddie weathercaster John Boyer joins us now in the studio. John, is there any end in sight for this rain?
Well, I tell you, I was here a week ago. We were talking about temperatures in the upper 90s. We were talking about a drought, but there is some rain out there right now. I'll tell you where it's at, where it's headed, and what your weekend is going to be looking like right after the break.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. Fuego. No hay nada para un pobre conejo asustado, a un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos forestales.
Fuego.
So, you're looking for help with your mortgage. Worried about foreclosure?
We can help you keep your house.
All we ask for in return is that you submit to our plans for galactic domination. Sign.
If you're facing foreclosure, talk to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE.
Let's turn over this log. Yeah. Whoa! I like the big black ones. I like the brown wiggly ones.
I like the green crunchy ones myself.
Whoa.
Get out and explore nature. There's surprises everywhere. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Anyone up for dessert?
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm John Boyer. Thank you for staying with us. Now, of course, you've noticed the rain that's out there, and it's been quite a bit over the past 24 hours, so that means that there's a potential for some flooding out there in some communities. We'll touch on that in a second, but also, what's the weekend looking like, or at least the rest of the week? It will finally feel like fall. Our temperatures will be near average, and it could very well be that we are done with 90-degree temperatures for the year. And let's hope that's the case because I'm not a fan of the 90-degree temperatures. But outside on the radar right now, lots of rain. In fact, the heaviest rain is right along I-95, but Raleigh's still picking up some pretty decent rain. Same goes for Fayetteville, but if you look off to the west here past Greensboro, there's some clearing out on the radar. And as this activity moves to the north and east, we'll see our rain get lighter and lighter over the course of the evening. Now, that doesn't mean that we're done with it. We could see more later tonight, and that would add to any totals that exist right now. So since the beginning of the storm yesterday afternoon, we have these totals: 2.87 inches at RDU Airport, a big total 5.38 inches down here in Fayetteville, also nearly 4 inches out towards Rocky Mount. So that's as much as we would see in a normal month this time of year, coming in about 24 hours. And of course, if there's a potential for more rainfall overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning, which there is, Fayetteville could stand to see a total up near 7 or 8 inches. That means flooding for some of you out there. So flood safety tips, of course: don't drive through water where you can't see the bottom of the road, and always turn your headlights on when you're driving. Saw quite a few people today who might have forgotten over the past month that that's what you do when it rains. But the flash flood watch is in effect for the entire viewing area. Anybody who can see me, that's what you'll be dealing with through 6 a.m. tomorrow, and it could be extended by the National Weather Service, so listen out for that. The potential exists for up to several inches of rain, filling up the creeks and streams. Surface map shows that a cold front is responsible for that. The low in association with it, both of those will be moving to the north and east overnight tonight, but that doesn't mean it will stop affecting us. Tonight, cloudy and rainy skies, maybe light rain during the evening, but picking up past midnight with a low near 68 degrees. Tomorrow, a high of 79. A better chance of seeing a little bit of sun than today, but we'll still have plenty of clouds and plenty of rain. The heaviest rain would be towards the morning hours. Now, here we are on Tuesday. This is actually during the morning hours on Tuesday. There's a very heavy band of rain through central Virginia and central North Carolina, pushing to the north and east. So by Wednesday, we might see a break, but it's back for Thursday. Out in the tropics right now, very quiet, except this little batch of thunderstorms down here near Cuba and Jamaica could be heading to the north and become Nicole by next week. We'll keep an eye on it. So for the next 5 days, we have the best chance for heavy rain tomorrow morning and also then again on Thursday. Wednesday might see some light rain, but we do clear out going into the weekend. Friday and Saturday are just looking partly cloudy to mostly sunny at this point in time. And our temperatures also not bad. They'll be at or below average in the upper 70s, and then Saturday maybe down into the lower 70s. But our overnight lows will also be getting nice and chilly too. So by Saturday morning, you might want to get a jacket out, especially if you're going anywhere in the morning hours. Of course, on Saturday, we do have the football game coming up. So maybe we'll have some nice weather for that.
That sounds great. I can't wait to actually enjoy the fall weather.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to the game too. Thanks, John. A little rain can't dampen the spirits of area music fans like those at the 11th annual Carrboro Music Festival. Music blared from sites across Carrboro while umbrellas took the town as people walked from venue to venue in the rain. The festival had 160 scheduled acts, but many had to cancel because of the weather. However, audiences still braved the rain for the sake of good music and shared their umbrellas with more than a few friends. The music kept energy high as audiences attended and danced in the rain, with their umbrellas in hand, of course.
Well, I'll tell you what was music to my ears this weekend, that big win for Carolina.
I'm telling you, can we keep this win streak going?
No, I think so. A big win for the Heels this weekend. Finally get one in the win column against Rutgers. But coming up after the break, Bruce Carter is doing his part, but the Heels defense still misses half a dozen starters.
You ever think about buying a bigger place? Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy. There is no credit fairy. How else will I get a better credit score? Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it. No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
Have you ever considered, I don't know, getting it waxed?
Waxed?
Yeah.
Bro, that's a little weird.
I don't know. Doesn't seem that weird to me.
Just keep shaving my back, okay?
Oh, dude, can I get a bite? What? With my spoon? This is disgusting.
Yes, ready, ready. Go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Justin Page. UNC Athletics Director Dick Baddour says the football program still plans to appeal the NCAA suspensions of defensive backs Deontay Williams, who must miss one more game, and Kendrick Burney, who has to sit out the next 3. Baddour says he believes the penalties are too harsh. But for now, the 2 stars and 4 other projected starters remain unavailable. Williams, who comes up with the interception right there, number 27, must miss one more game as part of a 4-game suspension for receiving benefits that included 2 trips to California. Former UNC defensive back Omar Brown paid for most of those trips. The team could certainly use the senior preseason All-American. He should make his return in just 2 weeks, though, when Carolina takes on Clemson, big ACC game at Kenan Stadium. Meanwhile, Burney must miss 3 more games as part of a 6-game suspension for receiving trips to not only California, but Atlanta and Las Vegas. The NCAA traced the benefits to another former UNC player, Chris Hawkins, who the organization considers an agent. Burney could return to the team on October 23rd when the Heels travel to Miami. However, after struggling in its first 2 games, the defense didn't seem to miss its stars too much on Saturday against Rutgers. At times, the defense actually looked like the unit we saw last season. The Heels allowed just 98 yards of offense during the second half and picked off Rutgers quarterback Tom Savage not once, but twice. The defense's performance kept Carolina in the game, while the offense made the same mistakes we've seen during the first 2 games. But quarterback TJ Yates' 204 passing yards were just enough to get the Heels the win. Now, Carolina seems to be getting better each week, and we'll see if the Heels can finally put all the pieces together on Saturday against East Carolina. The Pirates and Heels kick off at 3:30 on Saturday at Kenan Stadium. Women's soccer remains number 1 in the nation despite a roller coaster of a weekend. Thursday night, fans welcomed Boston College to Chapel Hill, and the first half was all about defense. UNC had 8 shots on goal. Great turnout at Fetzer Field on Friday night. And none of the shots, though, the Heels had in the first half would fall. But in the second half, both teams came out strong. Watch here, number 5, Crystal Dunn. She taps it in to put the Heels up 1-0, but not for long. Only a minute later, BC gets a lob shot, gets the goal, and the game is tied. But watch this. Shortly after, Crystal Dunn, she gets the ball off the rebound and answers with her second goal of the night. Look at that shot. But the Eagles scored in the 69th minute, and they would keep it going again in the 75th minute with another goal. UNC couldn't pull out another one, and the Tar Heels actually fell, hard to believe, 3-2. However, the ladies tried to bounce back against Virginia Tech on Sunday. Tech took an early lead on that goal, and the Hokies held the Tar Heel offense in check for most of the first half with great defense. Look at that save. But the Heels finally broke through as Megan Klingenberg shoots through the crowd and ties the game at 1 in the final minute of the first half. You bet they were happy. Virginia Tech continued to play great defense, but in the second half, watch the ball movement right here. Kaylee Ohai takes the strike off the pass and seals the deal. Heels get the win, 2-1. The number 3 men's soccer team continues to make a statement against ranked opponents. The Tar Heels got off to a shaky start Friday against number 5 Maryland. The Terps pressured the Heels with 3 shots in just the first 8 minutes of play. However, momentum soon jumped back over to the Heel side. In the 10th minute, check out Michael Farfan right here. He puts the move on the defender, look at that, and then blasts a bender from 35 yards out. What a shot to take the lead. But Farfan wasn't finished yet. 53rd minute, check this out. Forces a handball into the box, and of course, you know what that means. Sets up the penalty kick, and here he is right here. Check it out. I mean, come on, that's just too easy right there. UNC gets the win 2-1 and improves to 5-1 on the year. Members of the women's volleyball team seem to enjoy being back in Carmichael Arena. Friday night, the ladies were pumped up to take on the Maryland Terrapins. They fell behind early, though. The Terps actually won the first game with taps like that one. But then senior Courtney Johnson, you see her right there, she took control. Watch this setup. Here comes Johnson with the kill, and you're not stopping that one. She matched a career-high 18 kills, and fans were happy as the Heels won the next 3 games to take the match. Continuing ACC play Saturday, Suzanne Haydel punished Boston College along with sophomores Emily McGee and Heather Henry as the Heels cruise to a 3-0 victory. Always good to see that. Anyway, the field hockey team continues its winning streak, and on Sunday, the Heels picked up another win against a ranked opponent. The Heels faced the number 18 Stanford Cardinal. At the 16th minute, Mark, the Heels, they scored this goal, which barely taps the back of the goal. Freshman Katie Shanahan right there, she gets the lead. And then in this 22nd minute, watch Kelsey Kolajic. She's a star. She gets another goal, and the Heels seem to be running away with the game. But wait, with no time left in the first half, Cardinal players score a goal off a penalty corner, bringing the score to 2-1. Both teams were scoreless in the second half despite scraping and scrapping and being denied on penalty corners. However, the good news for the Heels, they got the win, 2-1.
Well, it's always good to hear about the Heels winning. I hope we win on Saturday.
No, most definitely. They also got a win against Duke, Carlisle Cup, UNC up 2-0. Always good news.
Sounds great. Thanks, Justin. Playing musical instruments is a common extracurricular activity.
Coming up, we'll show you how playing that C chord can be therapeutic.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Making music isn't always something you do just for fun. It can also help sick children get better. Reporter Alexandra Press shows us how music can heal.
When this empty room fills with children, these instruments come to life. Elizabeth Fawcett specializes in music therapy at the UNC Children's Hospital, a proven method for helping children cope.
A lot of times these children are dealing with such invasive procedures, doctors always coming in, poking and prodding. My goal here at the hospital is just to help them express their emotion in a very open and positive environment.
This helps the children to actually become enthusiastic during the treatment.
And that is not something you necessarily hear about a kid looking forward to go to the hospital to get their chemo.
You definitely don't. The music helps Fawcett and others connect with the children.
As they engage, they become more comfortable. I've definitely seen actual decreasing in heart rate, decreasing in pain. You can cross all kinds of boundaries with it. It's just finding ways to use it.
And Fawcett has found those ways. I had a chance to take part in the drum exercise, helping children get out of their shells. Even after working at the hospital for the past 4 years, she's still amazed by the children's courage and strength.
It's just really an honor for me to be a part of their lives while they're here. The way that they are expressing themselves on their instrument, it's really neat to be able to tell how they're feeling in that moment. The music has this power that's just, you can't even necessarily figure it all out. So motivating and so relaxing. I mean, it's just everything.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Alexandra Press, Carolina Week.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.